Hello students, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I hope all of you must be doing good and must be busy with your exams which is approaching now. Actually, some of the students had asked me to prepare a video, to make this video on poetic devices for class 10th. So in this video, I would be telling you what is exactly the poetic device, and I'll give you some examples of some of the poetic devices, and after that I'll be concluding the chapter Kurg and Tea from Assam, so that you can understand what the poetic devices have been, literary devices have been used in that chapter. So let's start, and the video is going to be very informative, so listen the video till the end. Now, poetic devices, what is this? See, at its most basic, if we understand, a poetic device is a deliberate use of words, phrases, sounds, and even shapes to convey meaning. Now, that sounds so broad that it could basically encompass any form of written expression, but poetic devices are generally used to heighten the literal meaning of words by considering sound, form, and function. In other words, if I say, to make it more easy, poetic devices are literary techniques that poets use to create specific effects in their writing. They add depth, richness, and musicality to poetry, making it more engaging and memorable for readers. Now, here I'll be giving you some most common types of poetic devices used by the poets or the writers. Let's start with personification. What is personification? A figure of speech that gives human qualities to non-human things or ideas. For example, the wind danced through the trees. Now, wind is a non-living thing, but it's dancing like a human. So that here it is personification. This device is known as personification, where you are personifying the non-living thing into living. Next comes metaphor, a figure of speech that compares two things that are not alike to make a deeper meaning. Example, life is a journey. Third comes simile, a figure of speech that compares two things using the word like or as. Suppose there is an example, like her eyes sparkled like stars. Now here you will see the word like has been used, so it is where you are comparing two things. You are comparing the eyes with stars, so it is simile. Next comes alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of a sound or letter at the beginning of multiple words in a series. Now, see the example. The save soldier sticks his head in sand. I repeat, the save soldier sticks his head in sand. Now, here the letter S, save starts with S, soldier starts with S, sticks S, again sand S. So, one alphabet is used more than 2 times, that is alliteration. Next comes assonance. Assonance. Assonance is the repetition of vowel. Please be careful. Now, assonance and consonance, there are 2 types of devices. So, in assonance is the repetition of vowel or diphthong sounds in one or more words found closer together. Like, hear the loud alarm bells, brazen bells. What tale of terror now their turbulence tells. Now here bells and tells, now their E vowel is used in both the words. So this is assonance. Then comes consonance. Now consonance is the repetition of specific consonant, not the vowel, but the consonant sounds in close proximity. Like tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. Now in this burning, B is the consonant in burning, and in bright again B is the consonant. So it is consonants. Then comes irony. Irony has few different meanings actually. The most common is the use of tone or exaggeration to convey a meaning opposite to what's being literally said. Like we are saying something, but the meaning is something else. That is called irony in short form, if I make you understand. A second form of irony is situational irony, in which a situation or event contradicts expectation, usually in a humorous fashion. A third form is dramatic irony, where the audience of a play, movie, or other piece of art is aware of something that the characters are not. Basic irony, where what someone says does not match what they mean, might look something like this. The Titanic was touted as an unsinkable ship, yet it sank on its first voyage. So this is how you can understand irony. There are many examples where the meaning is something and it has to be understood in other way. Next comes ode. An ode is a short lyrical poem often in praise of something. So that's very easy. So examples, there is no need to give the examples. Next comes pun. A pun is a play on words using multiple meanings or similar sounds to make a joke. Next comes hyperbole. Now hyperbole is a literary and rhetorical device that uses extreme exaggeration to create strong impressions, evoke strong feelings, and emphasize a point. It's often used in poetry to make something sound more exciting, dangerous, or impressive than it actually is. Hyperbole is usually not meant to be taken literally. Then comes epithet. Now, epithet is a literary device that describes a person or a thing in a way that emphasizes a particular quality in a narrative. Epithets can be adjectives or phrases that are joined by fixed association to the name of something or someone or something. For example, Ivan the Great or wine dark sea are epithets. Epithets can create vivid imagery, enhance characterization, or convey cultural or historical significance. In literature, the term is considered an element of poetic diction, something that distinguishing the language of poetry from ordinary language. Now, I'll be telling you the poetic devices used in your lesson Kurg. Now, there are 3 lessons actually, the baker, tea from Assam and Kurg. So, let me start with Kurg. Now, here the writer has used personification, metaphor, transferred epithet, imagery. That is all. So, I'll give you the example. This land of rolling hills, personification. Midway between Mysore to kingdom of God, metaphor. The air breathes, transferred epithet. Tree canopy, metaphor. Kingfishers in the river by their mahouts, imagery. Mahouts means Mahavad. We call it the person who trains the elephant. Now, birds bees and butterfly give company. Personification, because all these things act like a human in this particular line. Birds, bees, tree, canopy, again imagery. Searching for the heart and soul of India, again personification. So you understood? Now let me come to the next lesson, Assam, tea from Assam. It was green, green everywhere. Here the word repetition device is used because green, green, twice it is used. Then the soft green paddy fields gave way to tea bushes. Personification, because paddy fields are non-living things. How can they give way? A sea of tea bushes. Metaphor. If I say tea like bushes, so then it becomes simile, but here it is tea bushes. So metaphor. Doll like figure. Now here the word like is used, so it is simile. This is tea country. Metaphor. You will see enough gardens to last you a lifetime. That is hyperbole. Okay. I hope you understood and like it. If you want to make some other video on some other topic, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you.